Drug-induced milk from transgender women who were born male is meant to be as good for babies as mother's breast milk. Now, this is according...
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to react to something so insane. I'm just, look at me, blah, blah, blah. I can't even believe it. I'm going to talk about this NHS desire to say trans women's milk is just as safe as women's milk. Sorry, but I'm going to full on disagree with this one. But before we get moving forward, I can't help but laugh because I just can't even believe that we're having these conversations today. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Thanks for doing the thumbs up. It does mean a lot to me. Thanks for, really participating with my channel and helping me grow. I'm getting there, people. I am getting there. And it's because of all of you. So thank you so much. So I'm sorry I have to talk about this, but I have to talk about this because I just, it's not okay. It's not okay what we're doing in the name of trans. It's not okay that we're saying the things we're saying. It's not okay that we're putting children at risk for so many different, not only transitioning them, but now breastfeeding them with trans women's milk. Just those words alone. And, to all the trans people out there who probably think I'm being transphobic or I'm being no, I am not. I am actually pro transitioning for all the right reasons. But that being said, I am not pro doing stuff like this. This is hurting us to no end. We are killing our community. We are killing the way we have actual people who accept us to walk this world. And with that, watch, I'm going to show you something here, what this particular person says, but I want to play this first, and then I'm gonna react to what they're talking about.
Drug-induced milk from transgender women who were born male is meant to be as good for babies as mother's breast milk. Now, this is according to University Hospital Sussex NHS Trust.
Well, I'm going to leave Bev to the expert here, but this is, I'm just going to make one contribution. These people do not do the trans cause any good whatsoever. I'm sure most trans people want to get on quietly with their lives, and having these idiotic people making these claims just sets their cause back, and I regret it in that.
Thank you, sir.
So this is trans feminine induced.
So that's what I'm talking about right now. This is ridiculous. How dare we do this? How dare? There's not enough study. There's not even a long-term study. Okay, you might think like the milk is okay, but where's the long-term studies of how this will actually affect the baby? The baby should be the number one most important part of this conversation. And we don't have long-term studies on the effect of trans women milk. Oh my God. These are drug-induced lactation, people. It's drug-induced. That it's not a natural thing that's coming out of this person's body. This is a male person who wants to be a woman. Yet now they're lactating. Good for you. I'm glad you're lactating. But to even think that that particular milk should belong in a newborn baby's body is absurd beyond belief. And why do I think that? I don't care what any medical association says. I don't care what if you don't have long-term studies of something, it's the same with the trans kids. You don't have long-term studies, or the ones we do have specifically state that no child is actually benefiting from this. It's why they stopped it in the EU and everywhere else. We do not have long-term studies of trans women's breast milk in babies. So now I'm going to bring up this. The reason I'm actually reacting to this particular show is because they put an expert on. So let me give you a little bit of this here. Hold on one sec here.
Tucker, who knows all about the pros and cons of breastfeeding. Hello, Chloe. So nice to see you. Now, first of all, if we can just start simply on why it is good for, briefly, mums and babies to be able to breastfeed.
I mean, the benefits of breastfeeding are just absolutely endless, and breast milk is just incredible in terms of, it's at the end of the day, it can do all sorts of incredible things. It's full of every single type of nutrient that a baby needs. It adapts with the age of the baby. So, from the start when the babies are first born. The colostrum is exactly what the baby needs. And it's not just the nutrition, it's also, the benefits of immunity, the microbiome is passed on to the baby. It's, it's got everything that it needs. And if a mum has a baby prematurely, then the milk is designed so that that baby will be as healthy as possible. And it can really protect that baby against, problems and diseases and things like that.
Okay, that's kind of interesting now, isn't it? So this is going to help a baby to grow. It's going to give them nutrients, all the natural things that you need to do with a baby. That milk that trans woman has coming out of her breasts are not natural milk. That's not natural. It's drug induced. It's not doesn't have, there's all kinds of microbes, things that women, my God, I can't believe I'm just a total fucking dude that doesn't know much. But the one thing I do know is babies and mother's milk has always been such an important part of the health of this baby growing up to be a healthful, human being. There is no way this child is going to miss out on so many nutrients and so many things because you think this is the other thing I want to say. This is all about ego. It has nothing to do with the health of the baby. It has nothing to do with wanting that baby to grow up to be healthy. This has to do with trans women wanting so bad to be a woman that they think, first off, periods, breastfeeding, all of these things that they need to do in order to be a woman. This is what we all need to understand. This is not right. This is some person's twisted idea of wanting to be a woman so bad that they're willing to put the risk of a baby and even children at risk for all kinds of things that might happen to them. I want to find this one section here. Hold on one second.
So you might say, well, that's in the case then of a trans woman, maybe helping them to carry out this procedure would be good for them and their baby. No. But this isn't naturally produced breast milk, Chloe. So how are the people who are born male and transition into being women, how are they able to breastfeed?
Great question.
So, the process for actually inducing breast milk does involve lots of hormones, lots of medication, which has to be taken over a really long period of time in order to stimulate milk. And I think there's little research at the moment to actually be able to say exactly how nutritive that milk is.
Little research on the long term of, she just said it. What is this going to do to the baby? Why are we making trans women the priority over the baby? Why? Have we all lost our minds? I thought babies were important to all of us. I thought babies are so innocent and beautiful, and we have such an opportunity to bring up amazing, these children, babies will be children, then they'll be adults. And the health of these kids is so important. What is happening to all of us that we're so okay with doing this?
Especially in the first 6 months of life, nutrition is really vitally important in order to make sure that that baby is healthy. And that goes, beyond just them being a baby, but for the rest of their lives. So, I think, and also the quantity of milk that can be produced, by this artificial stimulation is, rarely enough to actually be able to nourish the baby properly.
So if the new mother is having a combination of estrogen, progesterone, something called galactagogues. These are words you may not be familiar with, Andrew Pierce. Galactagogues, which are, there's one called domperidone, not domperignon, that's slightly different. Domperidone is the drug that you can, but that women-born mothers also will sometimes be given domperidone in order to increase milk supply.
Okay.
But what the male-born mothers are producing, Chloe, is what? Is it resembling female breast milk?
The thing is, we don't really know, all of the facts
God, I can't take it. I can't take it. She just said it. The reality is we don't really know. So the NHS should be ashamed of itself. There's not enough research to be saying this. What is happening to everybody that we're just so obsessed with making sure trans people are so in the forefront of everything, and that this is hurting me as a transsexual. I'm not okay with any of this stuff. It is making us all look insane. And you know what? It's like saying that I'm going to get something put on so that I can have, sperm. Like, what? I don't need that in order to feel like I'm a man. Why do you need to breastfeed in order to feel like a woman? Why do you need to keep saying you have your period in order to feel like a woman? You should know it's so incredibly destructive, not for you as a trans person, to understand your true biology and where you come from and where you're going. And this stuff is taking us out. It's going to take us out. The guy said it from the beginning of the show. He said, basically, this is probably hurting the trans community more than it's helping. And he is right on, my friends. I am just disgusted that we are moving in this weird direction with the trans community. It is not right. It is gross. And I'm going to keep calling it out. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate you so much. This stuff is just killing me, but I will continue to bring you this stuff, and I will continue to tell you my opinion, and I have every right to say it as a transsexual person who has put a lot of time and energy into my transition, into helping others who are adults find that space. Remember this, you are loved, and I appreciate you so much. Remember, like, subscribe, ring that bell, send this to people who need to see it, and I'll see you guys on the live on Wednesday.